Henry David Thoreau said most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with a song still in them. Learn how you can ignite your life through empowering daily practices. Next on Living Smart.
Hello, I'm Patricia Gross. Welcome to Living Smart, the show designed to help you get the most out of life. Sarah Gish is a Renaissance woman. She's an artist involved in creating art out of recycled materials, author, publisher, and marketing specialist. So she calls herself an infopreneur. She follows her own passions, plays a harmonica, and drives a stick shift art car. Today, she'll share the secrets to fully living, using daily practices of love, spirituality, nutrition, and more to ignite your life. Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And I want to know, how is it that you decided to talk about this? Because you can talk about so many different topics, being a marketer like you are.
Oh, yeah, and I'm interested in a lot of things,
right,
too,
but why igniting your life? What sparked that?
Well, first of all, I'm a person that lives pretty fully already, and I'm very passionate. I have children that I'm trying to get passionate about things. But in 2004, my brother died of alcoholism, and so that really drew me up short and really made me think, what happened here? Why did he not, why did he go to alcoholism? Because he'd been sober for a while. And I think what happened for him was he didn't ignite his life. He didn't follow his passions and he didn't stick with it. And so that really made me think, what can I do with this experience? And I want to share it with others. So
what do you think were his passions, though?
Oh, not roller skating, ice skating, movies, people, that kind of thing.
He wasn't doing that.
He wasn't doing them, yeah.
Okay.
Food addiction, alcoholism, shopaholism, just a lot of things got in the way of a beautiful personality, beautiful life.
Okay.
So I felt it was important to help others ignite their lives by becoming who they really are meant to be.
Now, but there are people who are depressed, there are people who are retired, there are people who have a hard time, they're sick, they're tired, have a hard time igniting their life. So what do you do with people like that?
Connection. I mean, the key for igniting your life is connection. It's connecting to people around you, it's connecting to your world, being curious about the world you're in. And so when you have people that don't want to ignite their lives or become passionate or seem depressed or sad, connect to them. Find the thing that really gets them going. With my teenager, one of the best ways to connect with teenagers is take them out to dinner. Take them somewhere, feed them lots of food, and give them dessert, and you can connect to them. Find the thing that they love, and they love food. Older people, I don't know, connect over TV. I mean, maybe.
Oh, but TV,
Okay, but I know that's bad.
They watch so much TV.
But start with where they are. They watch TV a lot, so start with where they are. Look at the program they like to watch, turn it off, and then talk to them about that program. You've got to start where people are. You've got to connect where they are starting from. And it's the same with yourself when you're exploring your own passions. You've got to start with where you are instead of saying, okay, I want to be a rocket scientist, so I now, I can never do that
you were
because I don't.
In physics, for example.
Right. Well, and I don't have a degree, so that stops you in your tracks. You have to start with where you are now.
Where you are now.
And the skills you have now.
Okay.
So
now let's share the 6 ways that you suggest for people to ignite their life. And the first one you say is take care of yourself. Why is that important?
Oh my gosh, that is so important. I actually put that first because if you aren't getting enough sleep, if you're not getting enough exercise,
sleep is a huge problem today.
Sleep is huge. Sleep deprivation, it's something like 93% of Americans have sleep deprivation, so it's huge. And when you don't get enough sleep, you can't think well, you can't, igniting your life is all about being connected and being fully alive. So you've got to take care of yourself. You've got to eat right. And this is a body, mind, and soul thing. So that's the body.
And then the next one you give is meditate often. And we keep hearing this over and over and over, but it's so hard to meditate often.
It is so hard. And
why is that?
I say often, I did say meditate daily in the beginning of doing this work, but I really say meditate often because you can take short, breaks throughout your day and just slow down, calm down. Slow down, calm down, don't worry, don't hurry.
And meditation could be just breathing.
It can be breathing.
For 2
breathing
seconds,
is so important.
2 minutes or
you can do it while you're driving. You can just calm down. But I do say that everyone needs to meditate in the morning because before your day gets started, you set the tone for your day with meditating. So, and it doesn't have to be this type meditation. It can just be, getting quiet and tuning out everything. We're a world of distractions. We're in the electronic age, and it's crazy.
It's very, very distracting. let's listen to your intuition. Now, my question about that, listen to your intuition, is that some people are very much in tune with your intuition and some people are clueless.
Right.
So if you're a clueless kind of person, which could be me, how do you find that intuition?
Well, it's like I teach my children, listen to your heart. What is your heart saying right now? And you start with them, I've started with food. What does your heart say you want for dinner? You know, what does your heart say, which homework does your heart say to do first? You know, it's really...
And they probably say none. I don't want to do any homework.
Well, that's a bad example. But the food, you know, and does your heart say you're full? I mean, let's really tune into ourselves. So if there's someone that's clueless, again, you start with the really basic things. And you can listen to your intuition a lot better when you're calming down, when you're meditating. So this is why they lead one to the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Commune with nature. I love that one.
It's very important. And again, there's Last Child in the Woods was a book that made a big hit a few years ago. And he talks in there about how important it is to get kids out in nature. And here we are in Houston, and you would think there's no nature, but I go out in my backyard and there's nature. I get, you know, the green, the living really inspires me and lifts me up. And the other thing about communing with nature is you're communing with something greater than yourselves.
Right,
you know,
right.
And we didn't make the trees and the stars and the moon, and you know, it's sort of connecting you to the divinity, the higher power that surrounds you. And nature does whatever nature is going to do, no matter what. And so there's so many lessons in nature too. I mean, it's going to grow. It's going to, you know, we need to take care of it, just like we need to take care of our bodies. So communing with nature on a daily basis, again, is very important. Another one you gave is enjoy your creativity. Yes. And not everybody feels they can do this. I work with people a lot in my workshops, and I say, actually in my workshops, every one of them has an art component, because art is the perfect form of self-expression. You can't, I am very hesitant about art classes that grade you, because I think that kind of takes away a little bit of it stymies your creativity. Just doing it for the sake of doing it. You're just doing it. And creativity can be as simple as watercolors. Get some watercolors, or you know, pound a drum. I went to a drum circle this weekend, and that's a fabulous, easy way of doing creativity. So we all have something creative. You know, if you like to cook, then cook. If you like to, you know, put clothing together, get outfits together, do that. Do whatever. Again, start with where you are. So, but I say enjoy it, because life is meant to be fun, and enjoying and celebrating is what helps you connect and be alive, you know? And you also, the last one is probably the most important one, is be in gratitude. It's very hard to be unhappy when you're grateful all the time. Right. Being in gratitude, actually, you know, people get worried about, oh, my life is so good, I'm not going to keep it this way, it's going to all go away. You know, we have this fear factor behind everything we do, and our culture has taught us that. I mean, there's, you know, the killer bees and the, you know, the enemies around us everywhere. And so being grateful helps you keep all that. You know, if you give it away, if you're of service, if you're grateful, then it's going to stay with you, you know, and it multiplies. And you mentioned this at the beginning of this conversation, connect to others. Yes, that's very important. Addiction, all kinds of problems come out of not being connected to people. And so when you can be in community, you have to find a support group. When you're living your life fully, I find that it can be tiring. You know, I say drink plenty of water, just real basic stuff like that, because people can get, once you get kind of turned on to being passionate, you can go crazy with it, you know, so you have to slow down. But part of doing your passions is finding a support group. So you get people behind you that cheer you on. I mean, I tell people all the time, okay, I'm trying this new thing, or, you know, I was talking before, I lived in Japan. So when I was going to Japan, I said, I'm going to Japan, and, you know, and I only be around the positive people. I had one boss. Yeah, because your people are going to be jealous. Yeah, I had one boss that said, you won't like it. And I stayed away from her. You won't like Japan? Come on. Yeah, what's not to like about Japan? But it was a wonderful experience. I was there 3 years and saw the world. I mean, you know, it's a different world. It opened my mind. Yeah. What do you mean when you say live consciously? Oh, wow, that's a big one. That's really important, to live with, first of all, live in the now, live in the moment, live, you know, this is your life, and to make conscious choices. I mean, just like I was saying, you know, what does your heart say? Everything you do, have it be conscious. You know, when you, again, in my workshops, I have everybody pull out their cell phones, and we look at each other's cell phones, and everybody has a unique cell phone. For something as simple as that, Choose your, think about your cell phone that you chose. Think about the clothes you're wearing. Live consciously.
I have the old cheap dinosaur cell
Right,
phone.
but then that would be unique. But think about what you're doing. Life is short. Life is short, so you've got to live consciously, live who you are, and it all relates to the other things. Live from your intuition.
And how? I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to say, when you know what your intuition is, when you know what your insides are saying, then you can make the choices that represent who you are outside.
You talked about nature and the higher power. How important is it to be spiritually grounded to ignite your life?
Oh, it's really important, you
Why?
know, and because if you aren't spiritually grounded, you start going off in all directions, and, and we know a little bit about that, but you have to bring it in. You have to being spiritually grounded gives you a faith. Well, and it's faith or fear. Which one are you going to choose, faith or fear, and following your dreams can be very scary. And that's why so many people don't do it. It's terrifying because what if you fail? But if you fail, so what? You get up and do something else, And I mean, I think any of us, anybody watching this show, if you could have predicted 5 years ago where you would be sitting today, we couldn't have predicted it. And what I love to think, and is predicting great things. Predict big, think big, and have great dreams because they can come true.
Right.
They really can.
How about unleashing creativity? How important is that to ignite your life?
Well, if you're unleashing creativity, it's all about being the artist of your own life. So it helps you. It gives you a sense of control. When you're creating, you're in control and you're making decisions and you're living consciously, and art is all about making decisions. Am I going to put blue here? Am I going to put, with my car, where should I put the bottle caps? Do I make them crazy or do I put them just around the headlights? And you make all these decisions as an artist or as a creative person. I think everybody's an artist in a certain way.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you because some people are not so creative. I mean, do you have to be creative to ignite your life? And can you become creative?
I think it's the act of creating. There's a big difference between the act of creating, being creative, and being an artist. And I think all of us are creative when you look at it in those terms because we all create our lives. Whatever your life is, I know people that say, I don't have a boyfriend and I wish I did. And I say, no, you don't, because you don't have one. Because you're not creating that in your life. You're not visualizing it. You're not being open to it. I mean, people will say, I'm trying to find a job, but I'm not going to go on that job interview because it doesn't sound like the right thing. It's beneath me. Well, how do you know? You've got to go try it out. There's some calling out there in the universe.
But should you be finding, this is a good question, I think, in the sense that, should you be finding your passion through someone else? I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I need a boyfriend because, or I need a girlfriend, whatever, because I just can't do it on my own. I can't find my passion and my happiness on my own.
This is a journey for you. This is a journey by yourself. And there's a huge movement about codependency, and that's when you're trying to help, addicts and addicted people or depressed people or whatever, help them find their passion. And that's a little bit of what I did with my brother. I mean, I thought that if I, was calling him every week and listening to him and being there for him, that he would stop his alcoholism. Well, it didn't work. And so we all have to focus on our own passion. And if we did that, think what a different world it would be, because then we would be living our true selves. I mean, that's what we're here on earth for, is to be the best we can be and be who we're supposed to be and listen to that voice. So yeah, we cannot help others. So, and what's frustrating about that is, and especially as a parent, I would love for my children to do exactly what I think they should do. My older son was good at photography, but does he want to do that? No. And that's okay. I have to let that go.
You have to let it go.
And let him be empowered in finding his own passion, And we can guide them. We can certainly, say to people, I understand you want to learn French. Well, I know a great French teacher. I understand that you want to do cooking classes. I know some good cooking classes. But after that, you cannot do it for them.
Right, they have to choose.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I find that a lot of teenagers, though, they don't really know, even younger than teenagers, they don't really know. I mean, they say, well, I don't know. What, do you play soccer? Yes, I play soccer. I do math. I do, they do all these things, but they really don't know yet what it is that turns them on.
Well, it's because there's stages. I mean, there's the big area that you see kids very excited is the 6 to 9-year-olds. I mean, they're really, I call that the sponge years, because they're soaking things in. They're trying different things out. Then as they get a little bit older, they become these latent teenagers. They're all about latency, lying around, chilling, being social. And it's because they're letting all of the crazy stuff that they tried out, the soccer, ballet, you know, drama, whatever, they're letting it kind of matriculate, not matriculate, they're letting it percolate and figuring it out. And teenagers don't know, and they're still working that out. I mean, our brain is still developing until we're 25. So it's firing everywhere.
Let's share the 3 ways that we can stretch ourselves. You share this with me. Know your story. What do you mean?
Well, again, it's what I was talking about, where you know where you start from, know who you are, know your story, know your background. I'm Irish. I want to know that. That's what makes me fiery. Know
Really, you're fiery?
Yeah, I'm fiery. I'm passionate. But literally, it's the Irish. And then I get very task oriented, and I've got a German great grandfather.
There you
know,
go.
So it's like this warring world within me.
Discover your passions, you say.
Discover your passions, and this is again all the work that I do. I mean, look at what I tell people to carry around: a detective notebook, which is a little notebook that you write down things that interest you, things that, you know, movies that you like. Just take a note and talk to people that do what you want to do, all using your notebook. And so just exploring, being curious.
Live your dreams?
Live your dreams. That's just go for it. You know, life is short. I have a friend that was 45, died not too long ago. You know, he didn't get to live all of his dreams. So go for it. What are you waiting for? You know, you're waiting for the kids to grow up. You're waiting for the perfect time. You're waiting for it to be spring or fall. Stop waiting and get out there and do it. You know, life is really short. So live your dreams. You got to know what your dreams are first, though. That's why you have to know your story. So
now, you also say that you like people to live out loud. What do you mean by that?
To not be afraid, to really be who they are, to not be quiet. And I've got a loud personality. I mean, I've been told to be quiet when I'm on the phone and that kind of thing. And not everybody's like that. So if you're a quieter person, accept that, embrace it, love it. But be quietly, you know, who you are. Be who you are. That's what I mean. Just really be true to yourself and dress like how you want to, get the job that you want. That's such an important thing, is to look at your work. You know, I have people, I do these guidance sessions and I say, where do we need help? Is it your work life or is it your personal life? You know, and figure that out. Figure out if where you need to be more yourself, and that's where you need to live loud. So
now, what are the 3 things that you think people should take away from this conversation about igniting your life?
Oh, well, first of all, love yourself. That's really, really important. Love yourself, be true to yourself, be who you are, love others, and find your community and just be out there. And also love your life. Live the life that you want. Go for it.
Give me some cheap ideas on igniting your life.
Well, staying conscious, like I said, meditating, staying conscious of what you're doing every day, be around supportive people. That's really, really important.
That is really important, because some people are just, you really have to listen.
Yeah,
if people don't fit into what you need at the time,
yeah,
and you have to be realistic too.
Well, and yes, you have to be realistic, but I think we're in, like I said, we're in this culture of fear, and so we think that we have to, and we're in this culture of experts. Everybody tells us, you know, who we need to be, and we have to have these certain number of degrees to start a business. Well, let me tell you, Richard Branson, who started Virgin Airways, didn't have a college degree. He just went for it. You know, this happens all the time. Now, I will bring up something real quick, and that's women. Women have a harder time going for it, you know, because
why?
Because I think, again, I think of Richard Branson. I think he just was bold and brash, and I think that we feel we don't have all the expertise that we need. And I think men are raised feeling that way, feeling strong and bold and brave. And I think that women often have more of a support role and need to get away from that.
We need to support ourselves instead of...
Well, and it's what you were talking about, supporting someone else in their passion. We need to support ourselves. We need to be in a relationship with ourselves.
Now, you call yourself an everyday activist. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it means I look around. I love preservation. So I look around and I see what needs to be changed, basically. And I do that more than others. But it's just little things like, you know, pick up trash. I teach my kids to pick up trash. And that's just, you know, everyday things. And you start in your own backyard when you're an activist. But I think all of us, if we became an activist and more tuned into our world, we would change it. It would be terrific. And we can't, I go to the other route where I'm overboard, you know, and trying to pick up all the trash, and I end up with this big garbage can full of trash, and you can't do that because you're taking away from other people the opportunity to pick up trash and to get empowered by being of service.
Now, you also talk about how igniting your life changes the way you look at things, the way that you see things differently. You begin to see things differently because you're out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Tell me about that. Do you have to be out of your comfort zone to really ignite your life?
Oh, I think so, because I think it's scary. It's scary to follow your dreams. And so I think that you have to take chances that you wouldn't normally do. And it's like I was talking about with the job. You know, if there's a job being offered to you and you can't see how it would help you, or maybe it is the dream job, you know, it's working in the flower shop and that's what you've always wanted to do, but you can't figure it out economically, but do it anyway. You know, things will work out. One of my favorite philosophers is Joseph Campbell, the anthropologist, and he talks about if you follow your bliss, and that's something that he coined, following your bliss, the bridges will open, tracks will open up, doors will open where you never thought there would be doors. So when you keep following your bliss, the phone calls will come in, the people will show up, the jobs will, you know, come into being. So it's a beautiful thing.
It has to do with the affirmations, right?
Yeah,
or goal setting and affirmations. They do become true if you know, the universe opens up for you to get what you want.
Well,
and
it's like developing a muscle. You know, it's a new muscle, and you have to. It's a muscle of positivity and faith and acceptance and listening to your voice. Whereas again, the culture. I'm not going to blame everything on our culture, but we've been raised to be afraid. And so it's saying no to that and moving forward no matter what.
You write a book to help parents do things with their children. It's a summer book. How important is it to get to know your city, get to know, and this you know, this goes not just knowing Houston, but any city where you live. How important is it to ignite your life?
Oh, well, you know, it's very important. Houston just celebrated its 175th birthday, and so I worked with a musician, and we came up with songs about historic Houston landmarks for a CD, Our Roots Are Strong. But the reason, and I was trying to get other cities to do that, or I was trying to inspire other cities to do that. So it's really important to notice your surroundings and look at that.
Do you feel that there are some cultures that are more passionate than others, that find it easier to find their passions?
Oh, mais oui.
Oui, bien sûr.
It depends on what you're looking for.
Right?
The English don't cook, but the French with love, yes, and the Italian, Latin, it's all the romance. You know, the romance languages. If they speak a romance language, they tend to be very passionate.
And the reason I ask that is because you lived in Japan, where you expect the Japanese to be a lot more
reserved.
Reserved
Absolutely.
And not to be too forward with their passions. But that's not really true, is it? I mean, everybody can find their own passion.
Everybody can find their own passion, no matter their culture, their background, their personality. It's really about aligning yourself, your inner self, with your outer self, you know?
But is it too late? Let's say I haven't found my passion by the time I'm 70. Is it too late to find it then?
No, absolutely not. It's not too late. Unfortunately, when you're 70, you'll miss out on enjoyment of your passion. You know, when you finally realize you want it, like me, you want to play the harmonica, and you only have 20 more years to play it. Unlike me, who's going to have 60. But yeah, it's never too late. You can always find your passion. And I love movies. You know, I write about movies and you know, go to movies a lot. I think movies are a great way to spark your passions, because you watch something and you think, you know, I've always wanted to learn tap dancing, which is what happened to my older son. He learned how to tap dance because he saw the movie Top Hat.
Oh, okay.
So get out there, because you can't always run around and see tap dancers, or you can't always, you know, vacation in Europe, but you can see it through the movies.
Right. The other thing is, for example, getting out of your city too. There's like, here in Texas, there's great parks, and it's not that costly to get out.
No.
That's important too, right? I mean, getting to know your surroundings, not just your city.
Oh, absolutely. You know, be a tourist in your own town is what I talk about a lot. And I do tours of Houston.
I like that idea, the tourist in your own town.
Well, it saves money too. It's always good. But you know, I stayed at a hotel recently in Houston, and it was one of the most fun things I've done in a long time, just by myself. And you know, just to be out there and shopping and looking around was really fun, something I never take the time to do.
What are the 3 things that we can sum up our conversation about igniting your life that you want people to really take from this?
Well, really, like I said, loving yourself. I really think it's important to tune into yourself, body, mind, and soul completely. Loving others, finding a support group and a community, and loving your life. Whatever you do, whatever you want to do with your life is what it is. I mean, just love your life. And love is very important, because it brings about a lot of things if you love it. If you have joy, and if you have love for other people, and another really important thing is connection. If you can't remember anything else about this interview, remember love and connection.
Connection to other people, connection to yourself, connection to your city, just be connected to something. And not the TV set, right?
Not the TV set. Well, and they actually did some research. I can't remember the name of the book, but there was a doctor who wrote a book. He was teaching out of New York about the importance of knowing everybody's name in the emergency room. And of course, you know, Mary passed the scalpel, that helps. Then, you know, hey, you with the brown hair, pass the scalpel. But really, they found that accidents in the emergency room decrease when everybody knows each other's names.
Very interesting.
So that's true with your whole life. If you, everywhere I go, I try to get people's names and I repeat it. So, and especially if it's a place that I go frequently, like the YMCA, I repeat their names. Hey, Stevie, how are you? And it creates these connections.
How do you know you're living smart?
When I'm calm. When I'm calm and peaceful and I feel just in my skin, you know, and I feel joyful. It's really about feeling joyful and peaceful, and I can't even really show you what that is, but it just feels calm.
It sounds like you ignite your life every single day.
I do, and I love to do it. It's fun.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us.
Thank you.
And for igniting my life as well.
Excellent.
To learn more about igniting your life, go to our website. There you'll find a complete resource list. You can also email us or call us with your comments at 713-743-8513. And that's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to live smart. I'm Patricia Gross. Have a fun, great week.
On fire.
For a transcript of this program, send $6.95 to the address on your screen. Please include the name of the guest.
Now I can, now.